Alright guys, welcome back to Mania Normal Tournament. And suddenly you got pinged in such an awkward hour because, and we don't have any matches in this hour, right? Because we actually are going to have a show match between JustSomeGuy97 versus Joe's XD. So you're gonna get some at least show match for this weekend pool. And yeah, you can look at these two players. JustSomeGuy97 has not played in this tournament, and he's just some random guy, right? And on reverse, we got Joe's XD, which is quite active in this tournament in general, and actually did play some of the earlier matches. Got really close matches against Anthony 23007 or 08, but unfortunately, dropping down both matches. At least they provide us a lot of very close match between the second last match though, tiebreaker victory. But now they're gonna go up against another player, JustSomeGuy97, which is not exactly the best accuracy player, but when it comes to a difficult pool like this, may actually benefit them in general. You can look at this pool right here. We got some low SR stars as usual, but a lot of higher SR maps. Even though we know that Mania is not really about SR, but some of the maps that really require high mechanics for players to handle. We got some higher BPM as well, a lot of like 230 BPM, especially a tiebreaker being 245 BPM, and it's easy for players to drop a lot of scores and such. Knowing just some guy being like an extremely great, extremely strong skill cap player, maybe banning on something that is more technical side of things, more coordination, more slower picks, may be good for them. And yeah, on the other side, we do have Joe's XD, which did play earlier in this tournament. Not exactly getting like the best scores and such, but we'll see what he goes for. And we're gonna see our first prototype being selected by JustSomeGuy97. It's gonna be hit or normal. The wildcard, not exactly the highest in terms of density, but we'll see what they're gonna go for. Next is Joe's XD. And I do believe they are more of a density player, so we're gonna go for more density protection and such, as we do see the Katagiri-san, the lawn map, the stamina draining map is going to be protect from Joe's XD, 220 BPM, and extremely high in terms of density requirements, and it's also very consistency focused, being ODX, so you need some high accuracy maintained after all. So yeah, see what they go for next. So we're going to be getting the bans soon. Yeah, I know. They already protect both maps already out. Look at the bans now. So of course, Joe's will be going for the ban, and of course the slowest map, it's gone. Coordination 1, no surprise that it's gonna be gone. No one likes playing Coordination 1. Everyone hates playing it. It's always the slowest map, and I do believe this week has become more like an avoid pick rather than like a must pick map for a lot of players. But previous few weeks has been banning out all pro tap map or just instantly pick, so it's still staying true to that regard. We do see JustSomeGuy97 gonna be banning out the high mechanics requirement map. Despite being lower BPM than usual, that map is extremely high density requirements. maybe even need some trios for players to handle. So not surprised that being out. So seemingly both players has their kind of stuff that they enjoy. One is more of a coordination type of a tactical player, seems like, and the other guy is more like a entity speed player. So of course, just some guys gonna go for some technical picks, and we're gonna be starting off on So. Yep, and of course, very catchy song, and this is quite high in terms of OD requirement for a technical pick. Yeah, 220 BPM, but when you see, despite being this high of a BPM, it's in technical pool, so you know that the requirement of the density is not as high. Some compared to the actual density picks in the pool, but still, this is definitely one of the few higher BPM maps in the pool. Seems like we have a player who doesn't even know the maps they're playing as well, saying they forget to download the map pack. So they are going for a side reading the pick, seems like. Oh. Waiting quite a bit for just some guy to download the map. Finally into the map. Soon. They are still downloading the pics. There we go. Yeah, this pool is quite difficult for a lot of players. You can see a lot of top players started getting 980k or even lower scores in general. So some player does get a lot lower score. Especially you can see just some guy already dropping loads of accuracy in this case, and even some miss here at the 97%. Still trying his best to go back to the S mark, but the S mark of the pool is quite hard to achieve, especially seeing a lot of these rolly type of patterns, and they are extremely hard for players to handle. We do, like I mentioned though, this map is still quite high in terms of BPM, so we can still get some dense part like this session here, but some of these double patterns just give them a lot of trouble. And some shields as well, just make some guy drop some 100 counts. On the other team, on the side, we do see Joe's finally dropping his FC, so you can see trying to FC this pool is quite painful. Joe's gonna be finding another drop here, but so does just some guy, and so it's not gonna be not gonna be accuracy battle. It's gonna be full out skill cap battle in this case here, and we can see Joe's is doing a lot better in that regard, still holding on 99.05%, and just some guy trying his best to hold back to an A, and you can see how difficult this pool is. And into another sessions with some shield, and we do see more breaks here from just some guy. And crazy scores yesterday from some of our players here, getting 996k, scoring and double S-ing this map, and we on this other side, we're seeing players who did not make it through the tournament dropping a lot more combos and scores compared to players that are still left in the tournament. and this shows how difficult the pool is to the players. A couple of more bricks here from Just Some Guy, and it's reaching out to 37,000 points difference, and there's nothing from Some Guy to respawn that with that 1,000 combo from Joe's XD. You see just Joe's finding another brick here on some of these rolly patterning, but we are on to another dance sessions with some short LN as well, and there's some ball player just finding bricks left and right. Double brick here from Just Some Guy, and one misses from Joe's XD after those double bricks. The last part of the map, this map being quite long as well, is still a bit stamina draining, but I don't think the stamina is the biggest problem for these players. These patterns are difficult for players to play, and yeah, that's gonna be a very first huge deficit points in favor of Joe's XD, reaching to a 1-0, starting with a breakpoint. Now, next pick from Joe's XD. We'll see what he picks next. I mean, there's a bunch of density pool alive for them to choose from. And yeah, there we go. Density 2 as the next pick. Yeah, it's gonna be Dreaming Attraction, is Izuka. I know these are 5, and despite a similar sort of BPM compared to the last map, this is different is that this is a lot denser in that regard. And yeah. We're gonna be starting up really soon. Density pools, after all, has been the tournaments in general, like most of the slot tests, like mods in general, saying which slot they are for, but they are technically still a bit different from 1-1, especially Density 1, usually being the lower BPM one. The more harder to read patternings, drum stream type of stuff, as where this tournament has been going for drum stream patterning and such on, like 2 picks, like technical 2, wildcard 2s, stuff like that. But they do switch from switch slot from time to time. For example, coordination 2, in early stages more like a coordination 3 pick, but like they kind of swapping the style from time to time on each pool. Also, after some more obvious choice, like coordination 1 has been the slow pick and the weird pick, and I would say Density 3-2 should be like the high BPM pick and such. So we're moving on to Density 2, and of course Joe's XD should be the player who is stronger in that regard, but looking at the first map, not looking too well for Just Some Guy. A lot of like 800k on this sort of pool. Still pretty impressive, because I myself cannot do anything about this pool. Do anything, or not even just pool, I just can't play Mania in general, but like getting an almost 900k score is still quite impressive, but some of the difficulty of the pool just shows the difference between these two players. As we at the start of the map, we already see just some guy falling off behind on the stream sections, and he is already 10,000 points below JustSomeGuy, and JustSomeGuy really moving on forward for the FC so far. Yep, and JustSomeGuy with the patterns being a slightly bit more regular, and you can see he's still going on strong in that regard. These stream, I guess, in first to 1-2 lane, and then the rest is just a stream, doing quite well so far, and he is really destroying this pig area. Some stairs patterning is not really catching him off guard. We don't really have shield requirements compared to the last map, but a lot of these density requirements, as we do see some guys slowly losing out his stamina on some of these patterning. Has been dropping out misses left and right, cannot hold more than 100 combo. Another 100 combo is a bit of a truce over there, and we do see just Joe's awesome mess. Not miss, but like drop some accuracies right before the break here. Finally reaching to a break, a close player can gain back some stamina requirements, but unfortunately this is just way too difficult for JustSomeGuy. In this case, you can only ban out one density pick after all in the entire pool, and then you still have a bunch of density picks to left out to eat. Forced to play density picks. Yeah, on an A we got an almost a 6-digit scoring difference. There's not much you can come back from, and there goes JustSomeGuy moving on forward to the final picks, to the final parts of the map, and takes the second point. And it's gonna be an FC from him as well, so you can still see some 48 seed players in this pool able to at least FC some maps in the pool. Not the best in terms of accuracy, and almost find a break there due to the low misjudgment on 100 on one of the patterns. But still, 976,000 points is quite impressive, especially being a lot lower seeded than you could have achieved to this stage. So yeah, very great play here from them. That's actually a score that beats out stereotype. So, amazing score here from JustSomeGuy. You can see there's some players still with high skill cap and such able to achieve some really good scores in this pool, and that is a very good play. Also, after seeing that previous performance, I'm pretty sure that JustSomeGuy is going to be avoiding this in general, and probably going to go for some more coordination picks, technical picks, or the more coordination focused wildcard 1. Instead, they're going to go for wildcard 2, the lower BPM pick in difference, only 153 BPM, so a lot slower BPM than required. And a very cool song, Monster Sirens Records, so finally get some Arcanite songs, question mark. You need 100% pick rate so far in this pool. Seems like players we enjoy about this songs in general, which is very nice to see. We got some variety in terms of songs, and it's not about like Camellia every time, or T-Passolite, or some very often picked left and right. We got some really good scores from play in this maps in general, and I mean those are top players compared to this though. See. We'll be into the map. Pretty popular picks so far. Did not get picked yesterday from Toxic Sins and Lure Machino from the other show match, I do believe. Other than the show match though, this map has been quite popular. For like some reason we're gonna be seeing skip intro for Joe's XD. I have no idea why that appears, but I guess we are seeing a very rare bug from Joe's XD's client. Yep, we're gonna get some very short LN burst throughout in this entire map, and not really tripping both of these players so far, doing quite well in that regard. And there goes a break here from Joe's XD on some of the shields required in this map. Another shield there. Gonna make Joe's XD find a break, and this is the first time we're gonna be seeing just some guy in the lead. Another break here from the shield from Joe's XD. Some of these weird patternings that's giving him a bit of trouble, but there goes just some guys as well, and the lead has instantly flipped towards Joe's XD. And what a crazy start on our first chorus. And this is definitely the first map. It's anyone's game. Gonna be onto a bit of a break sessions here for players. However, this slow sessions is still slow sessions, and players kind of usually hate playing slow sessions because it requires a bit more release requirements, and it's rough for players to play. And we're instantly dropping transition into the chorus, and with just some guy missing on the transition in the chorus, Joe's XD is finally building a solid lead here. 1, 2 to 3 miss in his case. And we got a bit of a trills pattern, does make him find a break there. Another patterning and such. Can he hold it on? I do believe they need way more miss. Now onto the final part of the map. We get some burst requirements as well. And there goes more misses. Just some guy need more to come back from this, but the lead is slowing down to 5,000 points. 4,000 points is just not enough in the end. There's just not enough misses from Joe's XD. It was looking quite close, but unfortunately, the accuracies are not there to help just some guy's case. And that is going to be 3-0 in favor of Joe's XD. See what Joe's picks next. He has a bunch of slot to go for. I mean, the entire density pool, or even wildcard for the map. There's like a high BPM regard. Despite being wildcard slot, is usually a high BPM pick, but instead they're gonna go for coordination free. Interesting. It's time for double BPM time. And you hear these Maxwell's requirement. This is one of the few maps I saw, and awesome song in the showcase. Awesome song. OD8, and we'll be here. It's gonna be Anthem. The usual wildcard free slot has been moving to coordination 2. It's starting from last weekend. We have been just like high BPM such on coordination 3, but it not necessarily means they are very hard in terms of density requirements. After a coordination 3, not exactly required in terms of density approach and such. But the high OD requirements makes players need to achieve their judgment even better than usual. Still a bit of a release requirement, but I would say most of the release are still more on the higher side compared to what you saw on the other coordination picks and such. We're gonna get some harder patterns throughout the entire map to compare to the other coordinations, especially some of these like awkward shoot patternings in keep happening, and it's giving a lot of trouble to just some guy seemingly in this case. It's quite physical, and I would say dense coordination map. It does not have like many breaks, but it does test your consistency and stamina. As you can see, the map at the start has very regular structures in general. I do see some high BPM requirements. After all, when you hear the song this way, it's like 150 BPM. Similar to last map, this sounds more like a 300 BPM type pick. So after watching this map again, I can see why Joes is go for some of the this pick instead of like the other density picks left over for the pool, showing that why he deserves, why he picks this map and why he protects most of the density picks, because he's just really good at these like density coordinations approach. 2,000 points, 2,000 combo, and he is still F-ing this map, but not much from just some guy in this case here. Misdropping combo left and right on a bit of a quote-unquote break sessions, less intense sessions to let him build back up of a combo, but instantly after reaching to the combo cap, finding a break from just some guy again, and we are only halfway through the map and the lead is almost already 50,000 points difference. There's not much to come back from just some guy. He needs to start hold on, and more misses from JustSomeGuy. However, with the 50,000 points score margin, I think it's extremely hard for JustSomeGuy to come back from this. The break here from JustSomeGuy. You can see they are struggling a lot in this regard. And finally a break from Joes. And the FC is gone from JustSomeGuy, but not really a huge problem for this pick. We do see JustSomeGuy finally able to at least get some bit of a score going on. Has been holding a bit of a combo after many breaks at the start and the middle part of the map. However, we'll be reaching to the chorus very soon, and we're gonna see the dance sessions required once again. Both players missing on the same pattern, so a complete reset on both sides, and both players will be reaching the combo gap in the same time. But again, 97% versus 99%, you can see this hard map will really benefit towards a higher physicality person, and some of these harder patternings as well, not these harder patternings, but these these three long notes patterns in the same map, three noodles together, are giving JustSomeGuy a bit of a trouble as well. And Joes finding a miss as well on the final part of the map. All eyes, can Joes hold on to 99%? He has to hold on some of these bursts, these jacks. Could he hold it on? No, there goes it. There goes his 99%. Another break at the end of the map, and this final session is really difficult. Removing any combo we saw in the final part of the map. Almost a 99% from Joes, but unfortunately, it's just not there. 97% from JustSomeGuy, and just unfortunately could not keep up against the physicality requirements in this pool. I think he can do coordination, right? There's still some coordination 2 picks. Should be doable. I'm pretty sure this is more like a physicality moment. But maybe JustSomeGuy just has release problems and throughout the entire pool. That will be a big trouble, but he still has his protect pick left. Wildcard one, I think it's a pretty decent pick for him to go for. Not exactly the highest coordination requirement, but there's still a bit of a coordination requirement throughout Wildcard one. And he's gonna go for that pick after all. I would say this is more like a combination of like coordination and some density, but the density is not like your high BPM density type of stuff. It's like your average BPM, like 175 BPM. The coordinations are also not extremely like release heavy. They're quite straightforward and such. And I think players can and JustSomeGuy can definitely handle picks like this going up against Joe 60. Seems hard coming from Joe 60. Probably also did not play the map beforehand. But I don't think this needs like crazy practice and such. If they have the physicality, we'll see though. OD 7.7. I can still see some of these LN snaps and such. It could be quite difficult for players to hold on accuracy. But they are definitely more straightforward in the compared to the technical requirements. You do see JustSomeGuy instantly finding a break though when we transition to the more intense part of the map. It's going to be finding a second break here. It's not a good start for JustSomeGuy. And Joe's XD is still holding on to the 1000 combo, and he is really securing this part despite not really saying that he did not really practice, but still holding on the best accuracy so far compared to all the picks that we have seen. 21,000 points difference, and he's still keeping it. Very good play here from them so far, and only a 97% from JustSomeGuy. Not much they could ask for when the other player just does good in terms of harder pools, mechanics and such. And we are seeing JustSomeGuy having so many troubles in these sessions. And finally, Joe's gonna be matching a break here. And yeah, we do see these inverse sessions. And there we go, so inverse sessions gave Joe's a break. Sometimes the readings on these patternings could be giving a player trouble, and he does find another trouble on that pattern. Once again, just seems like not really the best when it comes to one noodles inverse pattern. One knee inverse has been giving Joe's a bit of trouble, but those density sessions are giving JustSomeGuy a lot of troubles. You can see, especially with some parts being less straightforward compared to last weekend. Last weekend is a lot more straightforward in this map. The weirder parts are giving JustSomeGuy a lot of troubles, but he's finally able to build back up a combo. But again, the damage has been done from Joe's 50,000 points difference. It only took them this long to be stabilized, but the stabilize might be a bit too late, especially it's still lower combo than Joe's XD, despite after 400, lower combo doesn't really matter as long as you hold. He needs way more than this though. And there goes a break from JustSomeGuy on the slow sessions. And that might just already be the nail of the coffin. The song only builds up in this chorus from now on. We're gonna the song's gonna be even more intense. We're gonna get more dance sessions, and I don't think JustSomeGuy could hold on the last part. And Joe's is gonna be running away in the density sessions, and here it comes. We can see JustSomeGuy dropping a lot of misjudgment on the transition session, and there he goes. See more misses as well with some rise patterning, and that's literally it. Nothing from JustSomeGuy could have handled in the last part of the map with some trios. This map is just brutal for them to play. And that's basically it. 96% from JustSomeGuy and Joe's with a 99.2. Really good play here from Joe's. It's gonna be only slider break on all that pattern. That one pattern. multiple times. Holding a pretty nice accuracy for the entire map, but you can definitely see the harder parts make him struggle quite a bit, and it's gonna be possibly the last pick from Jotes. It's their pick now, and they have a lot to choose from. They still have their Protect to go for, and they still have more density picks left. Yep, column lock, unfortunately. Not much good. We still have quite a number of maps from still have from, but seemingly Jotes is avoiding the top half of the pool. Seeing the maps left. I mean, the top half of the pool is quite not speedy type of stuff, and more technical side, especially technical 1, technical 3. Coordination 2 is more like a bit of like weirder. I wouldn't say timing help, but like quite a dumb heavy map. So pretty sure the last should be the bottom part of the pool. Density 4 is banned, so Joes, you have to choose something else. It's in the banning, so still density 1 and density 3 is pickable for Joes if you want to go for the density situation. Density slots, and there it goes. Yep, density 3 being selected from Joes, and it's gonna be the stamina pick. Category catch balls. And if you have heard of category before, especially from other game modes, Taiko, they are extremely popular, and everyone likes to play a 220 to 240 BPM consistency stuff, and this is kind of similar in that regard. Just high BPM for a long time, and you'll be here. Suffering in both mental and finger. It's extremely draining to play. That's all I can say about Katagiri. The patterns are not as weird that you see from the last map. It's quite straightforward. So he can play. So some of the like less LN heavy players can definitely play some of these maps, like LN technicality players. But if you are more like a density player, and yeah, you can absolutely play maps like this. So it's extremely straightforward, but we will be here for 3 minutes of a 220 BPM. And of course, as Katagiri's usual anime core stuff, it's gonna be anime songs, Japanese songs mixing with their usual breakcore style, Katagiri's speedcore style. Well, not exactly speedcore, but you get what I mean. So at the start of the map, we already see just some guy dropping a lot of scores, down to 96%, and Joe's holding very well in terms of the accuracy mark. Like I mentioned, very good straightforward-ish density player, and he is holding on this. Patterns are very straightforward. You can look at the release; they are all very common snaps and such. And this will be the only break you get from this on. As the song slowly builds up again. And here we go, into the chorus. Oh, quote-unquote chorus. The blast bar is the actual chorus. This is more like the breakdown session. And you see Katagiri does switch songs left and right, and here goes the song swap. And this is a more inclined to their original music style, just putting an anime song on top, as anime song sample and such. Yep, Joe's is reaching to 5,000 combo, and just some guys around 10 times the combo below, still trying to hold on some of these harder sections, but these stamina requirements are slowly draining his fingers. You can see his misjudgment are a lot more compared to Joe's in this case, despite holding a decent combo mark, but the early start and the accuracy drop from him. You can see not as common. Not hitting the notes perfectly as common compared to Joe's, especially with some of the bursts, but thankfully both players are not really dropping on the burst, even though both players actually drop in the same session, so a trade there and Joe's will be losing their FC. We have 1 more minute left, and hopefully players do not run out of stamina already, because this map is still ranless and he's still need you to smash your keyboard for the last minute. It just does not stop. It seems like Joseph has been losing a bit of a stamina. Gonna be finding another break over there, dropping his accuracy down to 98.99, and in just some guy case, he's actually not really dropping too much of a combo compared to the early sessions, but the accuracy are just not there. And I forgot this part, we do have 1 more break. And yeah, we are back to the actual map of the pool. A bit of transitions, giving a lot of misjudgment from JustSomeGuy, got a lot of 200s on that case, and Joe's trying his best to build up to a 99%. If it wasn't over, Coffin has been sealed, and it's gonna be a 99%. The same inverse patterning is gonna make Joe's funding his final break and his final chance of getting a 99% being scrapped. Another slider break to end things for him, but that is going to be a 6-0 in favor of Joe's XD. Unfortunately, this heart of a map pool just shows 2 players with quite high in terms of skill difference in this case. We will be on to the tiebreaker showcase now. And of course, this will be the hardest map of the pool, sung by Sugi. And we do have Evia Winter, Winter Bunny, if you know her Twitch channel, doing the song, the voiceover stuff. And this map is redness, a lot of technical sections, a lot of density sections after all, and also some releases left and right, but again, mostly about density and such. And it's Joe's actually side reading this match. If he actually side read this match, he is doing very good in this case. I like how just some guys say there's no BPM change, but my ears is hearing BPM change here. This is definitely BPM change. Yeah, that polyrhythm sections. It's quite something. And a bit of a inverse and tag part. And yeah, of course, we do hear Winter once again. That means which the BPM does speeds back up. But we'll be on to the map. We do see JustSomeGuy. It's almost was ahead for a tiny bit on some of these polyrhythm-ish sessions, just like the last Evia Winter song, which is a seamless song. The sides are extremely hard to act, and players have been dropping accuracies. But after that, we'll be straight into density. And that's why I mentioned this map is quite high requirement in terms of density we got, as we do see JustSomeGuy already missing left and right on some of these harder patternings and such. Hopefully the second half does not kill stamina, because we are going to be here for a long time. A very good start for Joes, and he's still holding on FC after that part. I'll pay on to the 1/3 session. Oh, the song is 1/3. I don't think the snapping is 1/3. I actually do not know. My eyes is not good enough to look at Mania notes. But yeah, we do see this sessions of some non-stop streams that's been giving a lot of players a bit of trouble. Some shield as well. Good to see Joes was actually holding on a tiny bit, but as the map gets harder, some of the shields are really claiming off his score. And here comes attack sessions. The BPM changes here. We're gonna we're gonna see more shields and such, and JustSomeGuy has been losing a bit of a combo as well. Every transitions left and right, a bit of a trios there, and it's gonna make both players finding a drop. So it's still kinda close, I would say. Yeah, of course we get some jacks, not actually jacks, so but it's still a jacks. Alright, here goes the new fun session. Yeah, this tech part, I guess it's not tech part, it's more like density part. A burst part, and we see some drum stream, and oh god, the lead instantly widens by twice from Joes in that part. And Joes has been doing quite well in terms of holding on a combo, holding to a 2000, and give some props after that stream session, after that tech session. You're just holding on that combo since then. Very good score from him, but this BPM change is gonna make him find a break. Again, and again, 3 times a miss over that. Yeah, this session is just technical, especially side reading is hard for players to react in that case. And what are these patterns? That is such a weird pattern. Alright, polywave fun part. Actually not polywave fun, I would say this is more like a double BPM-ish type of session. And yeah, these shields are giving players a lot of trouble in that case. The lead's not exactly widened that much though, despite JustSomeGuy has been missing a lot. It's just because Joes is also kind of struggling on some of the sessions that he was struggling on. So you can see this map is really difficult for players. We do see Konkawa not getting a 990 in this map yesterday. I do believe it's Konkawa, so you know this map is like extremely difficult. And of course, last part of the map, and of course you're just going to be flat out density with 245 BPM, and we can see players are actually struggling in terms of the BPM handling. JustSomeGuy missing a lot in this part, not really known as like a high BPM player. And yeah, that's basically it. We just have one more final part of the map left, so it's not over just yet. We're gonna have some more trios left for players to handle. And some, whatever this part is. And final stream. Joes almost achieving to a 900,000 point, which is pretty impressive in this map. JustSomeGuy double I would say double the amount of misses and such. Yeah, almost exactly double the amount of misses. It's gonna be sealing the deal, and Joe's winning this match and the tiebreaker showcase. GG's to both players. And yeah, that's gonna be our show match. We're gonna be having the actual main match very soon though, because it's gonna be at 12 UTC as we're sealing the end of the brackets of the semifinals, and we will be seeing who are the last two players to move on to the top 6 requirement. Who will achieve the top 6 placement? We will tell at the final last couple of matches. So the first matches of today, well, actual matches of Sunday, will be Konkawa versus Willows as a first match of the weekend. Not the weekend, but like Konkawa versus Willows, and the winner will be moving on forward to top 6 in the losers bracket. And we have Paven versus Miyuchi in the winners bracket at 17 UTC. And last match of the weekend will be actually from tomorrow, from Tang Momentum versus Flowerful, the Europeans battle at 18:30 UTC tomorrow. And that will be summing up to our quarter semifinals weekend. And after that, we will be seeing the top 8 of the tournament. Top 6 of the tournament. And next weekend, we're battling out to see who will achieve the podium of the whole of the Osu Mania LN tournaments. As of now, we do already have one player achieving at least a podium, securing at least a podium. Neptune in this case, 6-0, has not lost a single point in this tournament, and he is fiercely destroying absolutely every single player in this tournament. And he is moving on to the finals weekend with none maps being lost, and he is waiting up against Paven or Miyuchi in that case. Lower brackets, we do have Konkai versus Velos, and the winners will be facing against J-Lai and Spanadut and Farflow. I would say Farflow with the miracle seeding play. That will be the final match of the weekend. Well, technically next weekend, because their match is on Monday. Not too sure when the showcase is going to be, probably before that match or after that match, but we'll be seeing you guys at 12 UTC, which is an hour for Konkawa versus Velas. And this has been Youngin commentating. Hope you guys enjoy the stream. Sorry for my new perspective on the maps, but that's what happens when you ask a guy who is probably 7-digit in Mania to commentate top player pools. I hope you guys enjoy the stream though, and that's gonna be all from us. See you guys in an hour. Goodbye.